it's still funny to see a lot of people continuing to harp on console sales. I think for some reason, they keep saying things like, well, when there's no competition in the market, PlayStation continues to lag simply because PlayStation is making another remaster of the Horizon game. Now, keep in mind that they were remastering games all through this generation, and nobody said anything about competition at that time. Remember when Xbox and Game Pass was pretty much dropping a lot of third-party games day one on the platform. Do y'all remember that stat where it was about $9,000 worth of games, where in less than 4 months, Xbox had dropped about $700 worth of games, and Game Pass was really vibing on the third-party scene while they were remastering at PlayStation? Nobody really said anything about competition. But when we saw the PS5 Pro, everybody eventually said, well, you see, this is because there's no competition. Yeah, but it's all nonsense. I think it's deflection at the end of the day. And what I've come to realize is Xbox has embraced its third-party nature, and so has PlayStation. The only people that have not necessarily embraced it are the console fanboys that continue to somehow think that there's some, light at the end of some tunnel that they've built for themselves, instead of them to just come out and just, smell the, morning breeze with or whatever the heck it is, the morning flowers with everybody, that this exclusivity thing is not working at the end of the day. What they've decided to do is they've decided to basically bury their heads in the sand and make it seem like, for some strange reason, exclusivity has a place in terms of the third-party side for PlayStation. It doesn't anymore. PlayStation is a third-party developer and a third-party publisher, having moved to PC. In fact, remember when I showed you guys the PlayStation sale on Steam? They all remember that Steam sale that they were actually running. They put a big sign, and then they said underneath the sale, they said, this event is brought to you by this. Sorry, how did they put it? It said this third-party event, is what it said, is brought to you by PlayStation Studios. If you want to see it again, don't worry, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show it to you guys again just for posterity's sake. It's right here on the Steam page. They know and they understand exactly where their place is. And PlayStation understands where their place is because the owner of this platform is Valve. So they're coming here to drop games on here. They're going to Epic Games to drop games on there. They're going to Good Old Games to drop games on there. They're already a third-party publisher, as well as their studios are third-party, development studios. Xbox embraces this and understands that as a third party, because that's what they both are now, they can thrive in making money exactly by making video games. There is no two ways about it. If you're going to go third party, the one thing you need is to have games. I've seen a lot of folk mock this idea. They somehow think it's novel to see a company understanding its business, position, wanting to make money because they're so used to list wars. They consider it, a thing where it has to be a bad thing because you're pretty much taking this approach. And you'll see them play some dodgy games. Like example, this person here on Twitter, where they were talking about how Phil Spencer is so soft and blah, blah, blah. This person said, yeah, he's way too soft to lead Xbox going forward. Thankful for him saving Xbox, but doubt he's the right person to take the next step. So I said, so the numbers don't factor in? Or is this all about Xbox fans and their feelings? I guarantee you, if feelings ran the business, they'd be on the street by now. This person said, what numbers? Being outsold 1-2? And I said, outsold 2-1 to either play remasters, that's on the PlayStation side, or Xbox games, insert Call of Duty or Minecraft. I think people are very confused that this subsidized model of console is here to stay. It's going away. Look at the cost of your PlayStation 5 Pro. See, for those of you who want a PS5 Pro, buy a PS5 Pro. The only thing we just want to make sure you don't do is come to try tell us that this thing is some novel piece of technology, because it's not. It's just basically the company putting cloth over your eyes and wanting to milk you for an extra $200. Just call it what it is. It happens. People who buy Apple products, they know this and they still go for them. Don't be ashamed. Own it. It's not like we're trying to dog on you. We're just showing you, because we know that these PlayStation fans are going to come here and try to talk about the superiority of the PS5 Pro. And so we're pretty much what we're doing. And, I wouldn't say this out loud at first, is that we're checking you before you get carried away. because that's what most PlayStation 5 players did in the PlayStation 5 generation. So now that this refresh is coming, we're pretty much trying to let you know, hey man, eat humble pie, because the hardware that they're selling you is basically a money grab. Know it now before we get into the whole PS5 Pro generation, and then somebody comes here and starts to, talk all kinds of nonsense when we already know that what's in there is going to be outdated before 20 minutes is gone. Back to this fanboy. I don't know if they're an Xbox fanboy, or maybe they wanted to make fun of someone. I don't know what they were doing. And I said, do y'all think selling subsidized hardware is sustainable, is a sustainable business model? If you do, might I bother you with a bridge for sale? And then they said PlayStation is doing really well. No one is arguing that PlayStation is doing well or not. I mean, they're doing well, but their own customers are not doing well. I mean, obviously, if you're worried about the company, that's what you're worried about, but their customers aren't doing well. Xbox's customers are looking good. This holiday, they're going to be sitting and eating good, and then they'll leave you, some games later on. They'll give you some, like Call of Duty, and you'll buy it. Your guys are going to buy it. You guys are going to make Xbox a lot of money. Everyone's eating well because of Xbox. It's crazy, right? And then they said Microsoft also giving up Activision cloud rights was a head scratcher. They say one thing, then do the opposite 5 minutes later. No, you're burying your head in the sand is what you're doing. Here you go again with these people that live on the internet, but fail to actually look at the internet and the information that's out there. And I said, you do know that majority of the gaming industry thrives without a single sale of hardware, right? Ask Microsoft, Take-Two, EA, Epic Games, and others how they do it. Acquiring Call of Duty without cloud makes sense, because Call of Duty is profitable without cloud. And then they said, well, people are going to defend a corporation with their life. I'm not defending a corporation at all. I'm a PC gamer and I have no time for nonsense. And I'm here to tell you that, believe it or not, Xbox can continue to be way just fine with just content. Why? Because Take-Two Interactive is fine with content. EA is fine and profitable with content. Microsoft is also in that category, fine with content. PlayStation, on the other hand, where is their content pipeline? What content pipeline do they have in place other than the big three that they continue to remaster over and over again? It seems like that whole, content, category seems to be continually flailing, or at least we're seeing it diminish because they have not spent enough time to actually generate original IPs. What happened was, because Xbox was not generating a lot of original IPs themselves, they got comfortable. But now Xbox went shopping because of them. They inspired Xbox to go shopping when they tried to money hat Starfield, and that's now come back to backfire because Xbox now has a lot of games. Like, think about this. Bethesda could drop, like, say, a game every 2 years as a publisher by itself. Activision could drop a game every year as a publisher by itself. I mean, it dropped one game every year, and then say every 4 years it dropped, 2 games. Let's just put Diablo and Call of Duty in perspective. Now, because of Bethesda's machine of at least one game every 2 years, Activision one game every year, they've put Xbox in a position where they basically are dropping an average of 2 games each year for each publisher that they acquired. That's a massive content machine out there. Now, if we think about it from the perspective of just me going very conservative, you'll see exactly where that math is going. And I'm going to leave it for another video for you guys. It's already 9 minutes in this video. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.